If you're in the market for a hunting rifle, avoid these 7 rifles unless you want a one-way ticket to hell. Yup, it's that serious. Some of these firearms are so prone to malfunction that they've been recalled, but not before claiming the lives of a few unlucky hunters. So, if you value your safety and want to avoid a firearm that could betray you when you need it most, stick around. This video might just save your life, or even better, a loved one. So, let's fire away. We shoot things off with a bang, starting off with the infamous Remington Model 700 and Model 7 rifles produced between May 2006 and April 2014. These popular and affordable hunting rifles came with a little surprise: a defective trigger that tragically caused several accidents, some even resulting in loss of life. The culprit? A faulty component in the trigger mechanism known as the trigger connector had this charming habit of malfunctioning whenever the trigger was pulled. Naturally, this didn't sit well with users, who promptly initiated a class action lawsuit in 2013. Remington Arms Company LLC, the masterminds behind this ticking time bomb, settled the suit, promised a recall, and everyone lived happily ever after. Or did they? Because let's be real, out on these streets, you never know. Some shady folks might still be clutching onto these rifles and selling them for a quick buck. So word to the wise, keep your eyes peeled and your wallet closed. Next on this list is the Marlin Model 336. Remington Arms Company LLC appears to have a history of making faulty rifles, even when it purchases a company with a reputation for making excellent guns. Marlin Firearms was making precision-built, highly effective, and reliable rifles that hunters swore by. But then, in December 2007, Remington swooped in and purchased Marlin, and surprise, surprise, things started spiraling downhill. Take the iconic Marlin Model 336 for example, a rifle once celebrated for its reliability and precision. However, it became a headache-inducing mess with quality control issues once Remington intervened. Several hunters complained of light strikes caused by the firing pin's inability to effectively hit the primer, especially when fed with certain types of ammunition. Some of the rifles caused misfires because their levers couldn't close properly, while others had mechanical issues with their extractors. Now, to be clear, this disaster is exclusive to Marlin 336 rifles made during the Remington era. Pre- and post-Remington models are still great, so if you're shopping for one, do your homework. Trust me, you don't want to end up with a Remlin special. The third gun that you should steer clear of is, guess what? Another Remington product, the Remington 783. The rifle, often advertised as a budget-friendly gun, isn't exactly an efficient option. The rifle suffers several issues, such as rough bolt actions and inconsistent accuracy. Some aggrieved customers claim the gun's magazine has feeding problems, but they suggest loading it one less round than full capacity to solve the problem. The rifle comes with a plastic trigger guard and stock, which could easily break under rugged conditions. One thing you wouldn't want to do when you own a Remington 783 is to shoot a Winchester ammo through it. Doing that could have a live round stuck in the gun with the bolt completely frozen, which could lead to a dangerous situation. The Remington 783 is a cheaper alternative for those on a budget, but there are better options in the same price range, such as the Savage 110 or Ruger American. The fourth rifle on our list, and no, it isn't a Remington, is the Winchester Model 94. Now, this might sound a bit controversial because Winchester rifles are celebrated for their iconic design and nostalgia. The Model 94 itself isn't necessarily a bad gun, but it has had numerous complaints over the years. According to some gun enthusiasts, when chambered in a 30-30 Winchester cartridge, which is sufficient for medium-range hunting, the Model 94 struggles with accuracy and power at longer distances. This makes it less versatile compared to bolt-action rifles. Plus, the rifle's lightweight build can result in noticeable recoil, which could throw you off target, especially at long ranges. Another issue has to do with its safety mechanism. Inexperienced shooters or new buyers might not know when the safety is on and when it's not. And here's why. The safety on the Model 783 is on black metal and has a black punched S&F. This lack of contrast in colors makes it difficult to tell if the gun's on safety or not. However, seasoned users know the trick. Pull it back and the safety is on. Simple enough if you've been around the block, but for new hunters, one wrong assumption and, well, let's just say the results could be fatal. So if you're buying this rifle, you should probably carry a flashlight so you can check if the safety's on or off. And that brings us to our fifth rifle, a Browning AB3. The AB3 was introduced a few years ago as Browning's entry into the value rifle market that had swept across the states. You remember those days when gun manufacturers were scaling down the cost of producing their rifles to make them more affordable? Well, the AB3 was birthed around the same time. Now, don't get us wrong, the A-Bolt series has an amazing lineup of sturdy, rugged, efficient rifles, but the AB3 has some serious defects due to the cost-cutting measure to fit into the value category. One major issue is the bolt action, which is rough and lacks the smoothness you'd expect from a Browning rifle. The bolt's plastic components aren't helping matters either. For instance, a hollow plastic stock feels fragile and can flex under pressure, potentially affecting accuracy during a shot. For a rifle marketed as affordable quality, this doesn't inspire much confidence. Customers have also complained about its trigger, which is serviceable but far from impressive, especially compared to competitors in the same price range. Additionally, while it boasts a detachable magazine, the design is awkward and doesn't sit securely, leading to feeding issues reported by some users. Overall, the AB3 is a sore attempt at balancing affordability with quality, something which isn't only common to the rifle market. For a similar price, hunters might find better options in the Ruger American or Savage Axis, which offer better build quality and reliability without compromising on budget. You might find a cheaper alternative to the AB3 in the Rossi Rio Grand, our sixth gun on this list, but here's why you shouldn't buy it. The 30-30 lever action rifle has had quality control issues since its introduction. The machining is rough, and several users have complained of uneven finishes and parts that look out of place, but that isn't as much of a problem as its lever. The lever feels stiff and clunky and can seriously disrupt the loading, firing, and unloading process. Then there's the issue of feeding and ejection. The Rio Grande struggles to cycle rounds consistently, which leads to frequent jams. For a hunting rifle that's marketed as a cheaper alternative, you can't afford for your rifle to malfunction when you've got game in your sights. As if the jamming isn't enough of a drawback, the Rio Grande has accuracy issues. You can hit a few decent shots at reasonable distances, but its accuracy is inconsistent. In short, the Rossi Rio Grand is a budget rifle that sacrifices too much in quality and reliability. Coming in at number 7 is the Savage Axis rifle, the one made in 2011 without the adjustable AccuTriggers. Savage Arms, the producer of these rifles, designed them for hunters who wanted a gun for basic hunting without breaking the bank. At first glance, it might seem like a tempting choice for budget-conscious hunters, but it's a rifle that often under-delivers when it counts. One of its most glaring issues, you guessed right, the trigger. Unlike Savage's acclaimed AccuTrigger models, the basic Axis has a heavy, stiff, and non-adjustable trigger that makes precise shooting a challenge. For hunters who need accuracy in the field, this is a serious disadvantage. Another problematic area is the stock, which is made of lightweight plastic, which often feels cheap and lacks durability. Worse, it has a tendency to flex under pressure, especially when shooting from a rested position, which can throw off your shots, making the rifle less reliable for consistent accuracy. While the rifle is marketed as a budget-friendly option, its build quality and quality control issues leave much to be desired. Beyond these design flaws, the rifle doesn't stand out in any other category to redeem itself. It's functional, but just barely. So if you're in the market for a dependable hunting rifle, this is one to skip. Spend a little more and get something you can truly rely on. And the final gun on this list is the Mossberg 464 SPX. The Mossberg 464 SPX is a modernized take on the classic lever-action Mossberg 464 rifle, but not all modernized versions are successful. While Mossberg attempted to blend tradition with tactical features, the result was a rifle that failed to excel in either category. The first red flag is its polarizing design. The SPX is marketed as a tactical lever-action, but its attempt to modernize the classic aesthetic of a lever gun feels awkward. The polymer stock with an adjustable AR-style buttstock and a flash suppressor looks out of place and alienates fans of traditional lever guns. Practically, the SPX has several issues. First, the build quality is inconsistent, with reports of rough lever action, feeding problems, and occasional jams. The trigger is mediocre at best, and the overall feel of the rifle comes across as more gimmicky than functional. Another downside is the weight distribution. The added polymer parts make it heavier than a typical lever gun, yet it doesn't offer a clear advantage in performance or accuracy to justify the weight. In short, the Mossberg 464 SPX feels like a rifle trying to be something it's not. If you want a reliable lever action, look elsewhere. All the guns on this list have their strengths and weaknesses, Probably a few of them could do an excellent job if used the right way with the right ammunition. However, we picked these lot based on the reports by users, gun enthusiasts, and our experiments in the backyard. So if you find any on this list that you think we unfairly roasted, let us know in the comments section. Also, feel free to add any gun that you think should have been added, but we overlooked. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, or just want to see more rifles get the brutally honest treatment, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We've got plenty more coming your way. Until then, happy and safe shooting.